Looking back at 2023, if we were to create a buzzword list for the smartphone industry, imaging would undoubtedly be the largest segment, especially for flagship models. Aside from the niche gaming phones, almost all manufacturers have made imaging capabilities their biggest selling point. And what about the various launch events this year? Regarding the imaging aspect, it is the word we hear the most. As we move into January 2024, Honor and Oppo have finally completed the updates to their flagship lines. And we are now able to gather 6 mainstream phones that use the latest batch of chips. They are the iPhone 15 Pro Max, Huawei Mate 60 Pro, and Xiaomi 14 Pro. Since everyone is clamoring that the Vivo X100 Pro, Oppo Find X1 Ultra, and Honor Magic 6 Pro can rival DSLRs, what about our imaging comparison? We can't overlook the presence of professional cameras. Ultimately, we chose 2 reference cameras for this comparison: the king of APS-C direct output, Fujifilm X-H2, and the pinnacle of full-frame image quality, Sony a7R5. Choosing their reference images is simple. One has excellent image quality, and the other has fantastic color. These are the 2 most important reference points in the static image quality comparison. I don't really expect smartphones to outperform these 2 giants because even among cameras, they are both kings in their respective fields. However, as long as smartphones can convincingly replicate reality in 1 or 2 scenarios, I can acknowledge that the manufacturer's claims of being on par with DSLRs are not unfounded. To reduce difficulty and meet the objective demand for cost control, neither of these cameras used large aperture prime lenses nor high-end zoom lenses. The entire shooting process utilized these 2 lenses to capture photos, and the files were standardized to approximately 13 MB in size. Otherwise, there would be little meaning in the comparison. I hope everyone can understand. Now that the unnecessary introduction is out of the way, let's officially enter this year's major imaging comparison review by GFAN. This comparison project was extensive. Our entire editorial team has been busy for more than half a month, shooting over 1,000 photos. After selection, we finally chose 44 sets of comparison samples with typical characteristics. A comparison album has been created. Friends, given that we did this, please give us a one-click triple support. Thank you all for your support. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our annual scoring comparison of smartphone cameras. The 6 phones in front of us are the ones we will be evaluating, and the participating cameras, as previously introduced, are the Sony a7R5 and Fujifilm X-H2. First, let me introduce all the participants today. I will start with myself. I am Yang Ho, the host of this imaging comparison. My standard is that I am a member of the unique university correspondence program. Everything depends on whether there is a good flavor. Next, please.
Hello everyone, I am Jifeng Luluzi and my slogan is no pits, no acne, perfect skin, algorithm and skin smoothing, enthusiast. Oops, I got caught up.
Ha ha ha. Okay, next one. Hello everyone, I am Jifeng and I am also Hehezi. My judging standard is that my eyes are the ruler. Photography primarily emphasizes clarity, so I will focus on sharpness. Hello everyone, I am Jifeng Nyuyuzi and my nickname is Saturation Warrior. I believe that photos must have rich color layers, only with a variety of tones can they catch my eye. Now let's start our evaluation. Come on.
This blind evaluation features 6 sets of photos with the corresponding devices hidden. The evaluation uses a scoring system, where 4 scoring editors rate each image individually, awarding 3 stars to the 2 cameras they believe performed best, and 2 stars to the phone that performed the best. For the device with the worst performance, a strike means it cannot score, while other devices default to 1 star. The scores from 6 rounds are added to derive each person's individual score, ultimately determining the best imaging device.
I like the 5th one the most. I feel that this unsaturated aspect doesn't affect me. Don't say random things. I have my own independent evaluation and scoring. You're so annoying. I have the answer in my heart. Is there a difference? This group has a difference. It's really testing me. At a glance, I can see the 6. Is 6 just a bit brighter? Did I calculate it wrong? The details of your clouds are all gone, so I made the ground all lush green. It's all impossible. The worst pink cloud layer. Even if something is missing, I think this is good. I think this group of 4 is also nice. And after finishing this group of 4, it turned out quite well. Oh, this group is quite obvious. Oh, I like number 2. What about this 6? What's going on with this 6? I can't give this group the best for this 6 anyway. This 3 is normal. This 3 is normal, and this 2 is quite good. I've already determined this project. Looking at it this way, I think it's not bad. 5 has at least always been consistent, so I give 5.
Well, then for the second worst, I can only give it a 6. What is this 6? Right, I can only give it a 6. I've always supported this, but it's a bit lacking. If it didn't turn out to be a constellation, have all the statistics been completed? They have? Alright then, let's announce the results first. How about that? Isn't number 2 a camera? I'm shocked. What is Sony doing? Is this an exposure mistake? If so, then this comparison is just automatically giving the highest score to the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
I think I will give the highest score to number 1, and then give the highest score to numbers 5 and 6. Well, you see, I still prefer Fujifilm. I still love Fujifilm, but sigh. I didn't expect the Honor 1 to score so high. I didn't think my Honor 5 would score so low either. The second round is a comparison of miniature landscapes, which are mainly palm-sized samples. This mainly involves photographing small objects, including flowers, food, and some books. These small subjects. This category tests color performance, macro capabilities, and close-up ability. But it's certain that number 2 is a camera, and it's obvious that number 2 is competing with the camera. This is Sony. I can recognize it at a glance. I think number 1 is quite pure. I feel that number 1 is indeed pure. Actually, I should already know who number 1 is. All right, let's show it. But let's reveal the answer. This group of cameras is quite clear because in miniature landscapes, its depth of field, especially the full frame depth of field advantage, is very obvious. However, Fujifilm as a half frame does not have a particularly obvious depth of field, but it does have some. The best in mobile phones is probably the number 6, or Huawei, right? I think that this set, especially numbers 5 and 6, has the most appealing overall handling for miniature landscapes. Thirdly, regarding style and color, because now all manufacturers are trying to create their own color modes, including collaborations like Huawei's and Xiaomi's with Leica. This aspect tests their color modes. This also includes the accuracy of white balance and your color, as well as the coding process. Now let's take a look at the sample, images. This set consists of 6 photos. Can I give the 2 worst ones?
Well, the good ones are all the same, but the bad ones each have their own issues. It's hard to evaluate, really hard.
One is overexposed and the other is underexposed, right? These two are about the camera then, according to our environment.
Can the three-pronged approach mainly be for color evaluation? If it's mainly about color, then when I need to give the truth, I might as well just be straightforward.
Let's all reveal our answers. Oh, is this Apple really that outstanding? I give the Apple the highest score. This set, me too. I gave this to Huawei. My fourth part is about night scene lighting, which mainly showcases the performance in night scene samples, focusing on how they handle strong light, highlight suppression, color performance, as well as the overall dazzling light and coding technology. These aspects provide some references. Oh, I think this is quite obvious. That star effect is definitely due to the smartphone's algorithm. I already know which model it is. It's not that the camera can't produce star effects in night scenes. It's just that the night scenes aren't that small. Does Miyamoto have an answer? I'm quite curious about this. Wow, look at that.
First of all, the weapon is definitely the camera. Who among you has written what everyone thinks? It is believed that the camera's resolution might be higher, and its performance in night scenes could be purer. But the fact is, if it is not processed in a certain way,
in double exposure or compositing, it is easy to encounter issues where highlights cannot be reduced and shadows cannot be lifted. With that said, the previous scenes and other elements are done, so let's take a look at the most important part, the portrait section. Because the portrait part is so crucial, I will divide it into 2 sections. One part is outdoor portraits, which we shoot most often, and the other part is various other portraits. I will introduce them to everyone shortly. Let's first take a look at the outdoor portraits, which consist of 8 sample images. Here comes the model. The models are all quite beautiful. Very eye-catching.
No matter how good looking it is, it can't withstand your gaze. What is this? What is this? This.
But I feel that the experience of observing Indian beauties is actually something I have to do.
I also want to see if I can go in there. I need to check for acne marks, but there are none. Sigh. From a girl's perspective, it's the worst. Why does my skin look good normally, but in the photos, there are a bunch of dark spots? Maybe it's noise, right? Then the one I like the most is number 6, because when you look closely, the skin is both fair and smooth and delicate.
Number 4 mainly refers to how he changed the skin tone of this female model from white to yellow, and then to black. So I think I need to adjust my results. Maybe the first one is the worst, just this one. This one is particularly good, and each has its own strengths and weaknesses. Actually, it's quite easy to decide. I'll just give it 8 out of 3 stars. It's already done, and it's a win.
I need to take a look, damn. Not at home, and then 8888. Is this a bit like the first Apple? The 842 this round is definitely Apple. As an Apple phone user, I know it very well, but that went wrong.
Damn, the third one is showing its belly again. The blanket is out, sis. Next is Huawei. I just feel it's Huawei. Let's pause for a moment before revealing the answer, and we'll reveal the answer shortly.
What the hell? But
I understand. Buy Huawei. I understand. The performance of the second one is also very good. The second one is also good. The second one is also good. Not bad. The second one is also good. Actually, the four of them are also not bad. The four are also good. I got 2468, and I got points 2468 as well. It's actually quite exaggerated. The scenery in number 7 is also nice, but the person is just number 74. This is missing 200,000 grass, right? 3 is the Xiaomi 3. Definitely the Xiaomi. 2 is the blue card. What are we waiting for? Let's go! I'm so eager to reveal it. Not yet, not yet. Calculating scores and separating them is urgent. I'm too anxious, it's too difficult for me. It's too urgent. Let's look at the results, I think. Let's look at the results. It's very urgent and too urgent. Oh. Secondly, it's Honor and Vivo. Is number 7 Vivo? Is Vivo that big? That's right, my favorites used to be Huawei and Honor. It's Huawei. It's also Huawei. I used to have a high opinion of both Huawei and Honor. I really like how it has changed my perception. And indeed, Honor is also good. Please use the retest for Honor, except for the retest. Guess I shouldn't use the Apple native camera on my friends. Where is Sony? Sony is a 5. Sony is just mediocre, which is a 5. In fact, Sony only performs well in one round. And this time, I didn't give it a good performance in any round. You can see that its camera has this blurring effect. I think the 6 and 8 are, because of the camera, as I am very familiar with Fujifilm's colors and can recognize them at a glance. I have always mistaken the 6 for Sony. Maybe the best camera is the Vivo. Because subconsciously, I feel that Vivo's portrait mode should be the best. My ranking is 68247, and I gave scores to each round, specifically for our number 6. I also really like number 8, and I recommend it for girls. If you don't want to edit the photos after taking them, just buy some food, right? Okay, so about that outdoor portrait, everyone is already very excited. Now, for our final part, it's also about portraits. What other portraits are included in this? They include 2 indoor portraits, 2 backlit portraits, 2 candid portraits, and 2 night scene portraits. Since the portrait section is particularly important, I will divide it into 2 parts. Let's get started. First, let's look at the indoor samples. First, let's look at the...
Are we also taking pictures? First, we need to get this green 8. Right now, it's green 8. Green 8. I have to get the green 8. I must get it. What is this? There are really not many options. Actually, there are a few dark parts that are also quite good.
This is a candid shooting scene, right? Let's get closer and take a look. Check it often. That's 7.
I actually didn't see the model's face because I thought the expression management during the candid shot wouldn't be very good. What I mainly focused on was the color of the scarf. It looks at which one performs the clearest. So I would give it a score of about 236.
Come. My incredibly super strong and durable backlight. Is this photo really still quite good? Oh, it's actually quite good. That big red spot really bothers me. It's a bit much. This time, the apple is also not bad. Let me tell you, which one is the apple? I guess it's the iPhone 50, because it captured green spots in the lens. Consultation recalls the last 2 night scenes. How the 6th is unreasonable. The 1st is truly invincible. The 1st is invincible. The 1st is truly invincible. The 1st is indeed the 1st. The 4th is the 1st. The 4th is truly invincible. The 4th is invincible. Thank you, Lala, for bringing these 2 cameras. How do you take night shots with this? The exposure is not enough. Hey, isn't that Xiaomi? Wait a minute. Oppo, that's Oppo, I got it wrong.
Is Oppo's algorithm really that bad? Oh, you see, I'm an Apple user, and I even criticize Xiaomi. Sorry, my bad, Xiaomi, my Xiaomi buddy. Actually performed quite well. In fact, Xiaomi deserves a decent score from me. My Xiaomi brother has a pretty high score, but my brother is a 4, and I'm not bad either. The 4 is basically my 4, but I gave a very high score to the 6. Alright, we've been at this for quite a while, reviewing all day, and we finished everything today. Thanks to everyone for participating. It was quite interesting, right? It was really quite interesting. So, after the review today, I actually have quite a few thoughts. I would like to ask everyone to share one smartphone that has changed your impression the most after today's review. It could be any camera, just one model. Let me set an example first. What I really want to say is that this time, the brand that changed my impression the most is actually Xiaomi, because as everyone knows, I have always touted myself as a Xiaomi fan. There has been a constant promotion of attending university and a daily emphasis on virtue, but in this comparison review, I really did not see Xiaomi's presence. Only in the last round, during the night scene sample, did I notice a few advantages. However, overall, it really seems to me that it is almost on par with the iPhone, which surprised me quite a bit. I think the stylized photography processing of Xiaomi was one of the reasons I chose it, and also one of the reasons I liked it. But at a time when smartphone manufacturers are developing their own styles, it seems that this particular style is not very impressive, which surprises me.
Huawei was indeed a bit surprising to me, because previously everyone said that Huawei was limited by hardware and that its imaging quality might not be that good. However, through this entire set of X-area imaging algorithms, we can see its color performance in various scenarios, and it does have its advantages. Additionally, it has a variable aperture, and the overall clarity does not decrease. In the overall ratings, I gave it second place, but what surprised me the most was Huawei, because I usually don't pay much attention to its imaging hardware. I just think it might have an advantage in algorithms.
But I didn't expect it to perform so well in all scenarios. Well, let me say a few words about it. The model that surprised me the most today is the Oppo Find X1 Ultra. Because before we started today, I actually thought that this flagship, which they are promoting as the Wind God, with its dual periscope imaging, would have a very distinct and significant difference compared to others. However, after seeing its actual performance today, including some of the blurring effects, it turned out to be quite different. In various lighting conditions, whether bright or dark, as well as in different color environments, it did not particularly stand out. It just gives the impression of being a truly ultra model. My impression is still quite different, including the possibility that the dual periscope design has some flaws in its hardware quality, which I find very surprising today.
Well, what surprised me the most is that I didn't expect to like one of Huawei's imaging effects so much. I gave it the highest score of 91 points. What surprised me the most, however, was Apple, because I am an Apple phone user. I only knew that it took bad portrait photos, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. Sigh. Every day, I still casually use that original camera to take selfies and photos over there. Who would have thought? So when everyone sees unflattering photos, it's because they have discounted my looks. Also, cherish the beautiful girls around you who can take great photos of themselves with the original camera. They are all true beauties. They all use Apple phones, and only those friends with 3 or 4 times the beauty of others can still look stunning in the original camera of an Apple.
Well, that's fine. We've completed all our ratings, and everyone has shared their opinions. Today has been quite fruitful. Let's go back and organize the results to see what scores everyone ultimately gave. I'm very curious to find out which model is the best when we add up our scores. I have to say that the results of this blind review were quite unexpected for me. So let me announce the results to everyone. In the final scoring, the Honor Magic 6 Pro topped the blind evaluation of camera performance, followed closely by the Huawei Mate 60 Pro, which significantly changed my impression of the imaging capabilities of both brands. Given the strong performance and specifications of Xiaomi and Oppo in the imaging field in recent years, I initially thought about these 3 brands. They would likely rank in the top 3. As for Huawei and Honor, in my stereotype, they might be the worst of the bunch. I didn't expect Honor to take the crown, which shows that a lot of effort has gone into refining their imaging system in this generation of the Magic 6 Pro, and they have indeed achieved impressive results. However, I believe that if the scoring was done with watermarks throughout, these two might not achieve such high scores. This shows that impressions can greatly influence a person's judgment. With the support of Xmage, Huawei's reputation among the general public has been quite good in the past 2 years. So, can we say that this time Honor truly lives up to its name? After this blind review, I would like to say that although public opinion may not have won, our evaluation has never lost. Although the scores for the 2 brands are not the highest, their overall performance is quite good, and they receive the fewest negative marks, indicating that they make very few mistakes. They demonstrate strong performance in outdoor landscapes and show relatively stable performance across various scenes, making them suitable for friends who pursue consistency. It's a very good choice. While Xiaomi and iPhone have made many mistakes, they not only perform average in many scenarios, but also have the highest number of poor performances among smartphones. Especially the iPhone. Even our little road sister has said that we can no longer have filters on the iPhone's imaging. Finally, let's talk about the 2 cameras. I estimate that the most controversial point after the video is released will be Sony's extremely low rating. So I need to clarify that my preset rule of giving cameras 3 stars assumes that the camera will be the best imaging device. However, in actual blind tests, its performance has been quite unstable across multiple scene comparisons. Although it can achieve overwhelming advantages in its strong areas, such as outdoor portrait comparison, Fujifilm also shows significant advantage. But in other areas, the advantages are not as obvious, and it exhibits considerable disadvantages in many fields. Of course, I know that many friends using Sony cameras might feel dissatisfied, thinking that many of our sample images have obvious underexposed colors and inaccurate white balance. But what I want to say is that all cameras and smartphones use automatic settings for quick shooting, and the way a photo is captured, whether it's Fujifilm's tendency to overexpose or Sony's tendency to underexpose, is the result of the manufacturer's automatic adjustment. We did not intentionally adjust the parameters to make them lose, but we also have no obligation to adjust the colors specifically for the cameras to make them win. As you can see, friends, can you really see the exposure, color, and accuracy clearly on that broken screen of yours? Cameras have their areas of expertise, and I believe many photos can easily surpass after color correction. But what we are comparing this time is the direct photography suitable for ordinary people. I also found that cameras are far inferior to smartphones in terms of ease of use and success rate. Under our blind test, I can confidently say this conclusion. The slogan of matching DSLRs is not just a slogan for smartphone imaging, it is genuinely moving towards that goal. Most of the time, what determines the quality of a photo is not the amount of pixels or the level of blur, but rather the color and expressiveness. As for smartphone photography, it will increasingly demonstrate greater value as time progresses. We should also emphasize that the 6 smartphones participating in this peak showdown are all top flagship models in terms of imaging, and they possess strong capabilities. Our so-called scoring is limited by the shooting conditions of the photos, and also carries a high degree of subjectivity and evaluative error. But in fact, the real authority and judgment lies with you, the viewers watching the video. I believe that everyone who finishes watching the video has their own favorite camera in mind. We welcome everyone to